All right, guys, welcome back. Probably is looking a little bit different than the last time you were here. It's mid-May now, and our onions are well into their bolting season. As you can see, they're putting up these seed stalks, which are known as scapes, and on the top, this is where the umbel will be produced, and that's where all your onion flowers will be found, and eventually seed will be made there. So as you can also see, the guys have been very busy putting up our cages. Our cages were redesigned a few years ago, so they're just these modular systems. So we have these poles that were bent, and they're all 12-foot lengths. So they just, depending on the size of the cage, they just zip them together and they go up super quick. It took the guys about 2 weeks to put all of these frames up. And I had to put the brakes on them because they were going a little too fast for us. Next week, we'll come back and show you guys what it looks like when they're actually putting the netting up. And as far as the netting goes, we can run over here and check out what that entails. So this is actually the netting material that we use to cover the cages up. It's pretty fine mesh. Kind of serves as a couple goals. One being, the main goal being, it allows whichever type of pollinator we have in this cage to remain in this cage, because we don't want any cross contamination of pollen out here, to maintain the lines that we have growing. But anyway, these cages will be unrolled, and then the guys will basically stretch them out over the tops of all of these individual cages. They'll have a tractor out here. They'll dig up along the sides, bury the netting, so it's all pretty sealed off. We got zippers on both ends, so easy access in and out. And then once the cages go up, the bees will come in, whether that be leafcutter bees or honeybees. We do use both out here for pollination purposes, just depending on the parent lines that are in the cage. That will determine what type of pollinators we use. Some of the parent lines are a little tougher to pollinate, so we'll actually use both in conjunction with each other. It works really well. So anyway, a lot of cool stuff going on right now. All right, so we jump back over here to one of our overwinter cages that's a little bit further advanced, just to talk a little bit about the thrip control that we've been using this year. It's actually been working probably the best it has since I've been around in the onion program, using Regen Ag's products that they've recommended. Thrips are one of the biggest issues with pollinating when it comes to onion seed, because those thrips thrive on those umbels, which is where the honeybees want to land. And if you can imagine being a honeybee and you land and then there's all these tiny little thrips crawling all over you, they get irritated and they don't want to pollinate, so therefore our seed yields are much lower when the thrip counts are higher. So we'll take a dive in here and look, and as you can tell, these thrip numbers are just super minimal. I did some block counting last week, and I mean, I was getting 0 to 1 thrips per leaf average, which is incredible for this time of year, especially because once the cages go up and are constructed, it's very difficult to spray. So having that thrip population under control to start the season out just puts us way ahead in the game. All right, so the next time you guys see these cages, they're gonna again look completely different. They'll have the netting up, and these scapes will probably be another at least foot taller. They got another 3 to 4 weeks to grow still. So that's one thing we're monitoring this year really closely via sap sampling, is all those nutrients that these onions are absorbing right now. And it's super critical at this point in the game to keep these onions as healthy as we can. We had a little bit of a herbicide burn a couple weeks ago. They have recovered really well. We used some of, again, Regen Ag's Relief on top of those, and man, they just popped right out of it. So I'm super excited about that. But as you can tell, all these scapes are super dark green. They're just very healthy. They're thick, and very rigid is what you like to see in these scapes. So another couple weeks, we'll hop back out here and we'll take you through the flowering process, and by then we should have some honeybees in here as well. We'll get you guys inside view of what that's all about.